That, by the way, I've had Kaylin try to help me through this Mark Wahlberg conundrum many times we've talked about it. But it's still a problem. Like, I literally don't see myself being able to move to where you live because I don't want to have to qualify it every fucking time I walk into a Dunkin' Donuts.
Boston might be tough. I know generally you laugh at it, but Boston might be tough.
Yeah. I mean, I told you the story that I walked into fucking Brigham and Women's Hospital at 2:30 in the morning, and I go to check in with a kidney stone, like emergency room, and they go, "What's your name?" I said, "Mark Wahlberg," and he looks at me and says, "No, you're not." I'm like, okay, well, I'll just fucking die right here in the lobby.
I struggle with it. Like, I really can't go anywhere without, like, if I'm like at a restaurant or whatever, they're like, any connection to the real Mark Wahlberg or to Mark Wahlberg?
No, it's okay. You can say it. You said it. It's all right. You said it. My own fucking child.
Okay, that's the next episode. We'll work through this trauma. I think you just—
It's a never ending. Guess what I did today? I'll wait.
You're going.
We're going? All right. Back in the seat. Bonfire Talks with your boy, Mark Wahlberg. Wahlberg and hot stuff in the house. I've decided I have more. You know what? This is self-indulgent. I'm going to just be straight with you. Like, there are people I could probably book as guests on this podcast, but I like talking to Goldie. I like talking to Goldie. So,
Who doesn't?
well, we'll see. I mean, I have gotten some comments, only good ones. So again, with me on the podcast is hot stuff, Goldie Jane Walberg.
Hello.
Hi, babe. How are you?
I'm good. It's funny, when before we started, you were asking me what I thought about your beard situation.
Yes.
Do you want to address it before I address it?
If I was giving everybody a shot of it.
Yeah, love it.
And all right, we can address it in this sense that just so you know, this was not a premeditated, midlife crisis. I need to look, or glow up or glow down.
That's interesting that you said midlife crisis and I said glow up.
Yeah, it is interesting. It is interesting.
Perspective.
But it really is. Remember, Mom and I got the hotel in Orlando because you guys are flying in the next morning. So we figured we'd stay in Orlando. This is for the family reunion. You guys, if you were following, we talked about it a few weeks ago. But, and then when I left the hotel, I left my shaving cream, and Rob said, "I think your shaving." Huh?
I remember this moment. Mom said, "Do you want to bring your shaving cream?" And you looked at me and you were like, "Eh."
You're right, exactly. Like, the thought of going 20 more feet to get my shaving cream was more than I could handle. And so
you have to open up your bag again to put it in.
Oh, to so many things. And even to that end, I then, since that time, which is now nearly a week, I haven't been to a store that sells shaving cream, nor have I had any impetus to do so. And so this is what's happened. And I posted a picture saying literally that. I forgot my shaving cream. And people from my past and my future were just like, "Oh, dude, we just love this look. It's so great." And of course, your mother
Hates it.
hates it.
I just, before I do a
like
deep
it.
dive.
You like it?
I like it.
Well, but you're a beard dude, Kaylin.
I am a beard dude. I'll
Yeah.
give you some tips if you need them.
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, first of all, I mean,
That's scruff. That's not even beard.
it's not quite beard yet, but you have to admit that it on my resume should say special skills because I grow a pretty even, effortless beard. So this,
And I do not. You should be happy about that.
I'm bragging about it. This is as I dig to the bottom of the barrel of special skills. This is the one I'm most proud of. I can grow hair on my face.
I think it's funny the way you just phrase that, like, "Oh, I've been home and it's been a week." Like, it sounds like you live in this like rural, like deserted place. Like, "Oh, I can't find a store with shaving cream.
I got to go in for some sorghum and sugar and molasses. Load up the wagon with supplies for the winter."
I mean, it's insane, but I also understand it. I feel the same exact way.
Right.
If I'm out of something, oh well.
That's it. It was a good run.
But
I really enjoyed having deodorant for the past 10 years.
Yeah. I'm a fan.
Yeah. You like it?
I'm a fan. I'm into it. And it's like winter.
Well, right.
No shave November. That's a thing
I
that
know
people
that's a
do.
thing I always am pissed about No Shave November because I forget about it until like November 12th, and then I don't want to do No Shave half of November. So this is not a political statement or a, support of anything. I'm just.
We can't bring up politics because today is the big day.
Right. So this will drop in a couple weeks, but we're recording this on Election Day. And let me just do some bonfire shit here.
Wait, I feel like we had this exact conversation the last time we talked because we were about to go to Florida, where Florida is interessant.
Yes, but we need to talk about that because it wasn't a drag at all. Like,
no, not at all.
But what I was going to say about, and those of you listening to this now and watching this, it's now probably been a week or two since the election. And as I talk to you, I don't know the outcome, but I will tell you, regardless of the outcome, listen to your boy.
Everybody love everybody.
Everything is going to be okay. Some things will suck. Some things might be better. And everything will change. But when you take a second and we look into each other's eyes and we take a deep breath, we will all be okay.
En la escuela, en el mercado.
In el mercado.
Exactly. See,
everything is tranquilo.
See,
right.
I feel like that's all we have to say.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say in my life. And you,
Amen.
by the way, have been really helpful there. Just like, hey, just slow it down. Slow it down. Let's not get all deep right up. I did that.
No, yeah.
Sorry.
Speaking of No Shave November, can I share with you what I'm doing this November?
Yes.
Well, I'm actually doing a few things that we can jump into, but what's top of my head right now is Tucker and I were trying to attempt to do no treat November.
No treat?
No treat. We have gotten into a very bad habit where every single night we have to have a little sweet treat.
Oh, okay, because treat could be any kind of version of.
Oh, no, like chocolate, cookie, ice cream.
Oh.
I was going to say, how's your lack of Starbucks going?
I have not had Starbucks. Oh, there's a fuzz. I have not had Starbucks. I have to look back and see the exact day my last Starbucks was, but I haven't been.
There you go.
Nice.
What I love is Kaylin calling you on that and not me.
No, I love it too. And I really am proud of myself, which is kind of sad that this is the biggest thing. Oh my goodness, I'm not going to Starbucks, but it's a habit.
Don't judge it. It's gigantic.
I think it's gigantic too. And not only have I not gone to Starbucks, it's kind of trickled into I'm not door dashing. I'm not going out to eat as much. So I'm feeling pretty proud of myself. And starting No Treat November, I feel like everyone has been trying to sabotage me, but I've stayed strong.
By the way, No Treat November, as Robbie and I were sitting on the couch last night, as we are wont to do, I was starting to think and hearing things in the interweb world, there's No Shave November. You're doing No Treat November. There's a No Masturbate November. There's a no everything. Why are we not supposed to do anything in November? There's Sober January, right?
Because it has a cute ring to it.
Yeah, okay.
No whatever November. That's fun.
No whatever November.
No blank November.
I like
whatever
it.
It's to be.
Yeah,
so we're doing No Treat.
It's the no of November. I get it.
Yeah.
Well,
but we're doing No Treat November, and I'm very proud of myself because someone sent me crumble cookies to work.
Sabotager.
And I didn't have any.
Sabotager.
I know, evil.
Haters gonna hate.
I know, but I stayed strong. I persevered.
Stay strong. I'm midwinter arc, thanks to you. And by the way, got called out on this, rightfully so, that you brought up winter arc, and I'm like, oh, I've never heard of this. This this is what a great idea this is. And I'm all like loving up on it. Morgan brought this up like months ago.
In a different way.
Well, he said winter arc though.
Yes, but Morgan is Extremeville, USA. Like his winter arc is literally like climbing Mount Everest. Like, winter arc, it has to be extreme.
He'd do climbing Mount Everest in shorts with a dumbbell in his backpack.
Yeah, unnecessary. My winter arc is like, okay, let's go for a stroll.
And not have candy.
Exactly.
Your arc is a gentle arc. His has peaks.
It's an arc. It's not like
a spike.
A steep incline. We're just
okay. But props to him because what he's doing, he's a gym rat.
I don't even know what he's doing.
He's really working out and his food and everything. He's really going hard and not hard in the ways he used to, which is just like gains, bro. That dude. Like he's literally, he's kind of that dude. But I think the beginning of the lightness is starting to happen because he just moved back to California Sunday. And I saw a picture that Carissa posted of Merle running on the beach. It's like they're out of the house, like things are happening. I think there's some healing that's about to happen. And by the way, let's get back to Orlando trip because highlight for me. By the way, you know what is so tired?
What?
You every 20 minutes going, Rosebud Thorn.
Okay, but it's not because it really just makes you focus on gratitude.
Yeah, but the thorn ends up being Goldie saying Rosebud Thorn every 30 seconds.
No, I love a Rosebud Thorn, but...
Well, so one of my roses was waking up the morning after you guys raged and I went to bed at 12:30. And seeing that Tucker and Morgan shotgunned a beer and smoked a cigar together.
Well, here's the thing that I love about Tucker is that he's as much of a people pleaser as I am, and I get my people pleasing from you. So I'm looking at Tucker. This is 1 a.m, and the family, and they're I'm tapped out, but sweet Tucker is looking at me yeah, obviously I have to smoke this cigar with Morgan. Obviously we have to drink beers. And I'm just looking at him you've done enough. You've done the good boyfriend thing. Let's go to sleep now. But we stayed up till 1 a.m.
For those of you who are just joining us, we had a family reunion in the Villages outside of Orlando last weekend. My wife's uncle who introduced us, Uncle Irv, turns 100.
And I already knew this about him, that he's incredible and still with it and whatever, but I haven't seen him in a few years. It is actually insane how with it he is.
It's ridiculous. And Mom was going, he's really slowed down. I'm like, fuck, he's 100.
Right.
There's any movement at all.
It's crazy. Salsa dancing with Mom at the pool. And I don't even know if you realize this, but I posted that video of you and Mom onto my TikTok of you guys singing show tunes.
Well, we were trying to make up a number in the car.
It's going bananas.
Is it?
I mean, people are just now sharing their road trip experiences with their parents. Someone commented, both of my parents were doctors and all they wanted to do was talk about whatever. And I don't know. It's just very funny that my experience is very different.
I love that videos that you post of me go viral on your shit, and I have 12 followers. By the way, I've lost 300 Instagram followers in the past week. Lost.
Yeah.
I look at the analytics and they're negative.
Oh, don't look at the analytics. I always like to think if I'm losing followers, those are the people that need to get cleansed away anyways to make room for the new ones. Almost
Kaylin.
It's a bud.
Hold on a second. I just want to give Kaylin some historical reference. This enlightened, metaphysical, spiritual, breezy.
Oh, it's very new.
I love it.
It's new.
You should have a whole side career as a
life coach. Yeah. This was not her for most of your life.
I was an evil witch up until a few years ago, but not really an evil witch, more like a black cat.
Okay.
I like to think of myself as a cat, like, I need the attention. I like the attention, but like I don't want you to give it to me. Like,
Yes.
don't, like type of vibe, like
So
that dynamic.
I'm definitely a dog. You're a cat, right?
Oh, that's a tough one. You're a little, I mean, we're similar in that way.
I think I think the people pleasing part of me is stronger which makes me a
True. Very true. Very
little
true. I have mom in me
Labradorish.
where she's just like, yeah, I'm all set. Like,
Yeah. Mom might
but
be, she's a cat.
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. But
Type.
she's like
She might be an actual wild cat, like
wild
bobcat,
animal.
like one you
Yeah.
rarely see and looks adorable but might hurt you.
Yeah. She's a little, I mean, that's the
She's
allure
aggressive.
of mom.
Yeah, that is the allure, the danger.
But this whole like enlightenment and this like vibe
Mm-hmm.
is like, I like to think, and this is very dramatic, but I really think it's true. Like, as soon as I turned 25 or like 20, this 25 was the start, like my frontal lobe developed. We've talked about this before.
Yes.
And when you turn 27, your Saturn returns.
Holy shit.
Just like my girl Casey Musgraves talks about in her
Your
song.
girl, Casey Musgraves?
Yeah, she's my girl.
Yeah.
My girl.
So has my Saturn returned and then left again? And what is my Saturn's return supposed to do for me?
I think your Saturn return, and honestly, like I am not like an astrology girl. Like people like really go deep into it, but I think essentially you are in this like there's a cycle that lasts 27 years.
I'll
And
buy
then
cycles. I'll buy that. That I'll buy. Yeah.
after 27 years, the cycle like
Resets.
I don't know, resets.
A new cycle.
So you are like whatever you're feeling and going through or struggling with in that one cycle, all of a sudden when you turn 27, like it shifts and then you're into the next one. But I don't know if you go into the next one after another 27
So you only
years.
get like one cycle and I didn't even know it. And
I don't know.
my Saturn came and went and I didn't even know I had one.
We should look into that.
When you say we, you know that I'm not going to.
Well, on a more practical level,
Yes, Kaylin, please.
I don't remember exactly the timeline of your dancing, but does it have anything to do with your extreme competitive ballerina and then you leaving and like finding yourself and doing your
Well
own thing?
said.
Doesn't that?
So interesting
Land the
that you
plane,
brought that up.
Kaylin. Land the fucking plane.
That seems like it would make anyone happier and less stressed out.
Crack it open, kid.
That might have something to do with it. But I do feel like yes, you're 1,000,000% right. And the combination of doing that and then COVID happening, I feel like I was in a cocoon, and then after COVID, I became a beautiful butterfly.
That's right.
Or
But
trying to be.
to real talk, bruh.
Mhm.
Real talk. It could either be that the extreme ballet this is the outcome,
Mhm.
or it could be the other way around.
Yeah, for sure.
It could be that the whole thing was inspired and divine and exactly where it's supposed to be. And
Amen.
then this, maybe that was a cycle as well, as opposed to maybe a mistake,
No, I think like anything, you grow, and I like after that chapter, I started a new chapter, and that new chapter involved therapy. And then like when you go into therapy for the first time, like everything is like cracked open and you like rediscover yourself, as well as like where I was in my life, like entering adulthood and really trying to establish who I am in the world. Like I think it was all happening all at once, like compared to Morgan, where he's kind of going through a similar transition, but he's a little bit older. So like, and he's a boy, boys are different.
Yes, and well, it's really difficult to talk about Morgan because we can't really talk about Morgan without his consent.
Well, that's okay. We don't have to really talk about Morgan.
I'm
but
just
like,
saying that his road involves an experience and chapter that is extreme.
Oh, for sure. And the next chapter is going to be very extreme,
In its own
hopefully in a
way.
positive way, and like a way that I kind of experienced. But speaking of my intense ballet life and career and upbringing,
Yes.
talk about what I'm doing starting on what's today, next Monday.
This, by the way, if I wanted to and will expound upon this, is an example for those of you watching and listening of how to take something that may have been traumatic in the past or triggering in the past, that is a relationship that was toxic in the past, arresting the relationship, educating and working through it on your own, and reclaiming a space in a healthy way that enhances and makes your life better. You are, in my opinion, an inspiration in this, because my former professional, devoted to a toxic career ballerina, rising star, Goldie Jane Walberg, who then left that because of it, for many reasons, but mostly because of its toxic nature, wasn't aligning with your life. You now have an opportunity to do the part of it that's great, the dancing and on stage and the experience, but in a healthy light. So please, I may have told the whole story rather than teeing it up, but go ahead.
So I am doing the Nutcracker.
What?
So here's the deal.
Which is a rite of passage for any ballet dancer. It's like, anybody who took ballet at any level knows the progression of life goes from mouse to soldier to, oh my God, I'm a party girl, to, and usually
I never was a party girl, and
I'm
still pissed about that. Miss Kareen, if you're listening to this podcast, I need to have a word with you. Because all I wanted to do was wear those cute little dresses. I never did.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's another story for another day.
Okay,
but
so you are dancing. You're going to be on stage dancing in a Nutcracker post.
Yes. Okay, now let me share it.
Please.
Let me share all of the excitement before the haters say that you
mansplained again.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They're not haters. There's this open class that I go to in Boston, and I've been going for years since I moved. And it's like a gorgeous studio. It's actually inside of an old church. And actually 2 years ago, I was in open class and I saw someone talking about a Nutcracker audition. And almost like in the movies, like I was like filling up my water and they were like, did you hear about the audition? Oh yeah, it's going to be great. And I was
Step
like,
Up 5 ballet.
Literally. And I was like, okay, whatever. And at the time, like I was probably going to a class like once a month, if that, like very randomly. And I saw the date and I could go, and it was a free class. So I was just like, okay, what if I just like audition? But kind of knowing like I have a full-time job, I haven't danced in 4 years, like that's kind of silly. But I went and did the audition just as kind of like an exercise of, can I do that in a new way? Can I like go into an audition and kind of just like do it for fun instead of going into an audition and just like, not that I was ever feeling like desperate for the contract, but like when you're a professional ballet dancer, if you don't have a contract,
there's something at stake.
Yeah, exactly.
You were going on your own terms this time. You're going simply for the fun of it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about, reclaiming the space.
Exactly. So I did it and I didn't tell anybody. And throughout the audition, I almost was like laughing to myself, like, this is so silly that I'm doing it. But I had a good time. They asked me if I can do it 2 years ago. And at the time I was like kind of newer at my full-time job and I just didn't think it would work, whatever. But now I asked my boss and I'm going to do it. But it's kind of like a little bit more of a commitment than I might have realized.
Well, I kind of expected to hear this. I haven't talked to you about it since they said they wanted you, and they won't tell you like what you're dancing or anything like that.
Well, that's another conversation, which is silly. But I think we're doing like 17 shows.
Mom's going to want to get an Airbnb and come to Boston for all of them.
But I'm telling you right now, like, I have not danced.
Yeah, your
I've
feet are
gone
going to
to
bleed.
class.
Yeah.
I've gone to class, which is an hour and a half, and I wear socks and sweats. And now we're sitting down and talk. This is Tuesday. Monday morning, I am going to be in pointe shoes from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah, that's not going to have a good ending.
I'm doing that Monday, I'm doing that Tuesday, and I'm doing that Wednesday. And I'm just sitting here pretending like I can just like do that.
Yeah. Do you have shoes? Because Mom just sold a pair of your pointe shoes.
No, I do have shoes, but I feel like it'll be fine. If I
By the
just
way,
like wait for it, it's fine.
if you want to talk about like trigger shit,
What?
just
I mean, like,
saying, do you have shoes, made my stress go up.
well, you saying, do I have shoes, made my stress go up. And now that I'm enlightened and I'm a beautiful butterfly,
Yes.
I just in one ear out the other.
Yes. $95 a pop every 2 weeks. That was my experience as a ballet dad.
I know, that's actually crazy. I think about that a lot.
And then when you became a pro, you got them for free, which was great.
Yes. So I have like a big bin of my custom shoes,
you
but
do?
like I just think it's like a silly little activity. Like I'm using this Nutcracker in a similar way that like people use a book club or
there's nothing silly about this. When I said it as the preamble is because I've thought about this quite a bit, that very few times in people's lives do you have a situation that in your, but I'm trying to put it in a general term, but in your situation where you train your whole life for a career that you were successful in, but had scars and bloody blisters from, literally and figuratively, and then get the opportunity to heal, redirect, and reclaim the space in a positive, healthy way. It's like, it's such a beautiful, unless you hear the first, snow music and break down into fucking crisis tears. And then we know it's a bad choice.
I was just going to say, like, we're talking about this now and I haven't been there. Like, let's check back in after Monday and I could be like, fuck this.
Man, I hear Nutcracker music like on a commercial and I literally get anxious.
I mean, I think I had a kind of different relationship with Nutcracker because
your studio didn't do it all the time. Yeah.
So if anybody is listening, has no idea about any of this stuff. Typically, if you're a ballet dancer, you start doing Nutcracker from like your little soldier, and then you do it every single year for however long you dance. And my studio, we didn't do a Nutcracker. So like when I got into a company, I wasn't feeling as like jaded as every other person.
Yeah.
I mean, once we started doing it in a company, I think we were doing like 40 shows every season of it. And as a core member, you're doing a million different roles every single time. That it gets old really quick. But now that I've had some space and it's kind of just like no pressure,
yes.
I think it'll be a good time.
I can't be more excited for you. And for me, it's great because one, it's all about me. And two,
do you think, would you want to do Drosselmeyer? I'm like kind of half kidding, but like now that I said it out loud, like
don't ask me twice.
I'll
keep the beard. It'll be perfect.
Oh my God.
I'm ready. I'm just saying the thought of you.
Wait, you can't be Drosselmeyer in Boston and over the announcements before the show, Mark Wahlberg is going to be Drosselmeyer in Boston.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah,
you're welcome.
That, by the way, I've had Kaylin try to help me through this Mark Wahlberg conundrum many times we've talked about it. But it's still a problem. Like I literally don't see myself being able to move to where you live because I don't want to have to qualify it every fucking time I walk into a Dunkin' Donuts.
Boston might be tough. I know generally you laugh at it, but Boston might be tough.
Yeah. I mean, I told you the story that I walked into fucking Brigham and Women's Hospital at 2:30 in the morning, and go to check in with a kidney stone, like emergency room, and they go, "What's your name?" I said, "Mark Wahlberg," and he looks up and he says, "No, you're not." I'm like, okay, well, I'll just fucking die right here in the lobby.
I struggle with it. Like, I really can't go anywhere without, like, if I'm like at a restaurant or whatever, they're like, any connection to the real Mark Wahlberg or to Mark Wahlberg?
No, it's okay. You can say it. You said it. It's all right. You said it. My own fucking child.
Okay, that's the next episode. We'll work through this trauma. I think you just.
It's a never ending. I thought of it. I was listening to the Toast on the way over here, which I am not in their demo, even though this is a Chewy Tuesday. I think they say that.
You are the demo.
I'm afraid that I am. What was I going to bring up? Why did I bring up listening to the Toast?
Toast.
Mark Wahlberg.
Leaning in.
I don't even remember why I brought that up, but I was.
Your deep, dark trauma.
What is the Toast?
The Toast is two Long Island millennial.
No. They're two Jewish sisters who have a podcast. One lives in Florida and one lives in New York.
It's a gigantic podcast. It's every day.
And they do a daily podcast where they talk about like pop culture. But I love them because they're like two Jewish sisters. So like they're
sound
little
like family to us. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they are kind of like, I don't even want to say that they're. But I could see.
I think that they would say it themselves.
Yeah, they're just like two girlies.
Yeah, I can't remember why I brought them up.
I'm so glad you did. Whether or not you had anything to say about them,
well,
I
enjoy listening to them, and I like to listen to them before I come in here because I'm like, because they're really good at podcasting. So I feel like if I listen to them for 20 minutes, it'll put me into some sort of zone where I'll,
100%.
Yeah. By the way.
Yes.
40 episodes in, or however many episodes in of my podcast, this podcast, our podcast. When I say our, I mean Kaylin and mine and you, but mostly Kaylin.
The People's Podcast.
The People's Podcast. Yeah. That's right. All these episodes in, very few comments, the engagement, whatever. One clip talking about how you're on my cell phone plan still. Morgan texted me, says, I've gotten 4 texts this morning from people going, get off your fucking dad's plan. And then I got my favorite comment was, you act like it's not your fault, Mark, that this went down and that you're allowing this to happen. You're probably the kind of guy that believes in participation trophies, which, of course, I responded saying, and I'd give you a participation trophy for this comment. And you're right. But then immediately go, you're right. It is my fault. And I'm sorry because I have to respond to every comment.
Well, I saw a comment like shitting on me. Like, my parents didn't give me anything. Like, you've got to get your life together, girl. I don't think that was a comment at all, but like that vibe.
No, I know. But that basically what I'm getting at is, and I don't know where I was going with this, but where the Toast is like they don't make it deep. They just talk about whatever it is, like just the stuff. Right. Yeah. And, the one thing that actually worked is us talking about the fact that you're on my cell phone plan, and everybody my age wrote in and said, yep, same. Right?
Of course.
And then everybody judged you and Morgan for allowing that. But if I were, I mean, come on. Why would you?
Times are tough, man. I mean, I had to cut out Starbucks. The least you can do.
Oh, my God. You've become a caricature of yourself.
I can't. I think it's fine.
I'm glad you think it's fine because you know what Morgan does all the time is he upgrades his phone and says, I'll just send you, it's only going to go up like $12 a month. I'll Venmo you $12 a month. I'm like, it doesn't work like that. Get the fuck out.
I don't do that.
Until I just mentioned it and now you realize it's the thing you could do. And I'll get a notice later today, iPhone 16.
I mean, I do. I'm in the market, but that's another.
Let's just clear this up. I don't do anything for my kids. I'll bitch about it. I don't do anything for you guys that I don't willingly do. And I'll also say that both of you, well, I'll let you slide in under this. Both of you, but really only Morgan, has said he's willing to go off the plan. and do it some
Yes, because this is going to open a can of worms about
open it.
like gender norms or whatever. But he's a man, he's married. I'm a little girl.
Oh, see, you just set yourself up for, you're a little girl.
Kaylin, don't you dare clip that.
That's going to get clipped for sure.
I'm putting it right at the top.
You've just set back
like,
the women's movement 50 years in that moment.
I'm just saying, like, when it's time for me to get married, don't get emotional. I feel like I can't even say that out loud. But when it's time, then we can have a conversation. I probably will still stay on your phone plan, but the conversation will be more present.
By the way, the only thing triggering about you getting married,
oh God,
is the wedding.
No, it's going to be great.
And if this is your way of telling me that you're getting married, it's shitty.
No.
But I don't want you to have any feeling that here's the thing, kids. Here's the thing. Not you kids, but you kids.
The people.
If you parent correctly, which I can't say that I have, but goals. The goals are your kids leave you. The goal, sadly, and some of our relatives in life and family and friends have not learned this, right? Okay. The goal is not to keep your kids home. The goal is for them to feel restless and strong and independent enough to, in spite of whatever bullshit we as parents put upon you, you fly. Your wings spread, and sometimes your claws come out, if need be, to claw away from the parent that's holding on to you so that you can fly, right? And as parents, that's the success. So I don't have any trepidation about the thought of Morgan getting married or Morgan getting married to me was, thank God. But you getting married, look, I don't know what your future holds. I certainly love your boyfriend. And I don't know what your plans are, and you'll let me know when they are, but I don't think any of that is an issue for me. A little bit of the expectation of making the wedding perfect, like, Bridezilla moment. I'm having data Bridezilla moments when I think about that.
Well, you know what we really have to be talking about right now?
I have no idea.
About mitzvah.
That I'm still paying for?
Maybe that can be our next episode. We can do a deep dive on that whole thing, because my bat mitzvah was the best day of my fucking life. And I don't think I can ever top it.
First of all, I could cry that happened.
No, it's not from like a sentimental aspect, even though
I understand. Well, I'm just saying we were able to provide that for you.
Yes, but I think we all just blacked out. And we made very poor choices.
Oh, yeah. For that decade.
It was just... Remember the show Super Sweet 16?
Yes. This was yours?
Super sweet bat mitzvah vibe. It was just like bananas.
It was bananas. And yet, compared to the cliche of bat mitzvahs, nowhere near what the cliche is.
100%.
It wasn't cheesy. It wasn't, I was about to say it wasn't decadent, but it was kind of fucking decadent. But it wasn't like glitzy, glamoury.
We were just trying to keep up with the rest of the girlies in Sherman Oaks.
Well,
I mean,
but it wasn't the vibe of what sometimes these bat mitzvahs take on, which is like, oh, look at the gift and look at the riches and look at all the food is going. We've been to bat mitzvahs where I'm like, you just got to stop. You got to stop. Yeah, this was your vibe of needing it to be really special. Mom's vibe of we won't do it traditional. Because mom actually probably missed a calling as maybe a party planner kind of thing. Like, because she's, I would say out of the box, but I don't even think she knows where a box is. Like
the box doesn't exist, which is the best part.
No.
And she has a secret power that she can find and track down anything on the planet. And if someone says, oh, we stopped making them in 19 50, she'll find it. Like,
Yes,
it's
but
kind of,
when somebody hacked her Instagram account last week, she couldn't figure anything out, and Morgan had to do like IT for her for like 3 hours, and we
That's
still
complicated.
will never make that happen. Right now, I think her Instagram is Chloe XMD something.
yeah, which is kind of scary
Yeah.
because Tucker's ex-girlfriend's name is Chloe.
I know. So do you think she's subversively hacking into?
You can't give her any clout. Okay. Anyways,
You know, we should probably wrap this up because we'll talk about the bat mitzvah and other things on the next and the next episode with you. And this will be way late, but I really feel a burning desire to talk about the Love Is Blind reunion.
should we just do quick spark notes like rapid fire?
Okay, spark note me up.
You lead the way.
Happiest thing for me is Garrett, and I'll get the names wrong. Is it
Garrett and Taylor.
Taylor? Garrett and Taylor. I adore her and had high hopes for
Say
him.
one thing. Can I say one thing?
Yes.
The one thing she wanted was to move to San Diego. And where are they living?
Near his folks.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just say that relationships are fluid,
It's true.
and there may be San Diego in their future.
But I'm happy for them.
I'm happy for them, but I think they both have given up stuff because she's living close to his parents, and he wore that sport coat
Amen.
and grew out his hair. So, I mean,
That's true.
you know, Mom just raved about the glow up. She was like, "Oh my God, he looks great." I felt like I kind of liked his hair the old way. I admired this fashion, but then I did start seeing him sort of like he could be a model boy.
Yeah.
I didn't like her dress so much, but that was just me. But I think she's a goddess, so I don't.
I think she's cute as can be. I also love Leo and whatever her name was. Our friends.
Okay, so first of all, wrote Leo off. Definitely
Remember
wanted to talk to him.
Rapid fire.
Okay, wrote him. I'm rapid firing as best I can, but I was like done with him. Don't like him.
Totally.
So many levels of what it triggered for me. Bad for my people. You know, the whole thing, right? And then he came back on being exactly who he was. Still can't seem to stop mentioning how much money he has and all that. But the fact that he's so purely that, and that they have been friends, and that friendship is like so wholesome. I'm like, okay, Leo, and sorry I judged you. So this is my apology to Leo, and yes.
But it's kind of perfect because like what Leo had is exactly what Hannah lacked. Leo acknowledged the cringe and said, "Oh, I know, I'm really trying to work on it. I'm still not there because clearly I'm still talking about my Rolex, but I'm aware of it and I'm cringing." As opposed to Hannah, where she just looked and said, "I'm just direct. I'm
Yes.
just direct."
If there's anybody on Love Is Blind that I'd like to have a chat with as a guest, I'd really like to talk to Hannah. I think there's some pain there.
Oh, there's a lot of pain.
But she looks fabulous, which I also don't want to spend any time on because I hate that she loses weight and we're like, "Oh, Hannah, now you look great." The fact is, the Hannah before was lovely in so many ways, and I don't want to really kind of make it that she's physically more attractive now, and that's the issue. I think there's some, like everything she does lets me know that we need to love her.
Oh yeah, there's some hurt there.
There's some hurt there.
And speaking of hurt, Marissa and whatever his name was, Ramses.
Ramses. First, props to Ramses for getting rid of the strings.
Yeah, but then he had to wear those striped pants.
Well, there's a lot going on. I think your Uncle Gary has the same pants.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, Ramses, I would want to have a chat with Ramses to say, first of all, I would have, my little mic drop moment would have simply been, after the whole conversation, I would have turned to her and said, "Thank you for your service in the military."
God bless.
Whether you agree or disagree, there was a commitment there that she did, and I feel like he was making her wrong in almost everything he was saying. That, look, she's a lot. Guess what? The other thing I would have said to Ramses, no hate, love you, because in the club, we all fam. But Ramses, what you're talking about is called relationship, and you're not ready for one.
Exactly.
That's it. And that's not hate. That's just real talk. Is that what you're complaining about? Is that her life is a lot, that it is disrupting the peace of your life, that you can't keep up, it's overwhelming, and you don't like it, and there are things about her opinions and stuff that are not working for you, and that's called relationship, right? And living by yourself, you don't have to have relationship.
Yeah.
So, and that's not wrong. You cannot have relationship and be really, really happy. Ram. Is Ram? Ram. Because in the club, we all ram.
Well, what
I
did
can
you
hear that
think
getting
about,
clipped now, and I'm embarrassed.
what did you think about Marissa's mom? Because I have an interesting take.
Let me see if I can get it right. Is Marissa Ramses's?
Yeah.
Well, she's rough around the edges, but I love that strength. She's got some story there. She was straight up with them when they met. She's like, look, men, and I'm not buying any of your shit. And
Yes.
I love you, and I'll support you, Marissa, but I'm not buying this act. Talking about Ramses. So in what aspect of the mom are you referring to?
At first, when I saw it, I mean, the first thing, Tucker and I looked at each other and we both said, like, essentially at the same time, we were like, that's a person that's been hurt in the world.
Well, she said it, the mom.
But I also, like, yes, there were cringy moments. And then after I watched it and I, like, thought about it, she was the only parent that, like, really did not care about the cameras and the show and anything other than protecting her kid. And she didn't care that she was embarrassing herself or whatever, or saying, like, pretty.
Which, by the way, I didn't think she embarrassed herself. I thought she was authentically rough. And
I don't think she embarrassed herself.
You know
either.
what? That mom has lived some life. That mom, you may not agree with it, but she's dropping truth bombs from her own experience in protecting her daughter, who's obviously been hurt. By the way, can I just say, from a crush standpoint,
Say it.
I love her.
Me too.
All of the drama, I could look at her face all day.
So cute.
I wanted to, be a dad and uncle her up or whatever and just go, you're okay. You're terrific. I love you. You're great.
You was kind.
You was kind. You was smart.
You was important.
Yeah,
And it's true.
If only I'd done that with you.
Oh, I know.
Maybe we should end there in hopes that I can tell you you're kind. Well, had you been kind, I would have said you was kind. I'm only kidding.
No, I was kind.
Goldie, you exceed my expectation and hopes of what a daughter would be.
Oh, stop it.
I'm serious. Back then as a child, now as a self-realized guru of millennials and beyond. And but as my daughter, couldn't be prouder, happier, or more a student of who you are and who you are becoming.
Namaste.
On that note, I'll say namaste, motherfucker.
Namaste.
Anything you'd like to add before I get more mansplaining notes from my listener?
No, I think that's about it.
Will you accept my apology for cutting you off out of my excitement in our last episodes?
Yeah, I guess so. I accept.
Wow. All right. That's it. I think we're going to end on that. Walberg and Hot Stuff signing off. Prestige Worldwide. Be good to each other. Remember, no matter where we are in this political world we're living in, we, you, me, in the club, we all fam. See you next time.